it's Michelle from Thor Wants Another Letter, and today we're going to be talking about the 2018 worst books, and I have a whole list. So, I just wrote like the top 10 books that I read, and I was like, worst books. What am I talking about? Burp. But the first thing we're going to do, Chandler, This Sip Is For You. So good. We were talking about what happens when you get a bad sip of pop, or pop or soda or cola, whatever y'all call it. And we said that like the worst thing is that when it gets all janky and like it's all just like soda water and a little bit of syrup, or like, it's just blah. So number 10 on this list, sadly, is Don't Hurt Me, is The Trials of Apollo by Rick Riordan. And for this one, I think I gave it like a 3 out of 5 stars. It just wasn't as enjoyable, and I got lost in like some of the plot and stuff, and it just, I don't know. I think it had like second book syndrome, but don't get me wrong, I still love it. I still love Rick Riordan. I'm still gonna read the third one. I don't know. I think I've been spoiled, so... Alright, number 10 on this list is actually a library book, and I don't have it. So that is P.S. I Love You by Hahn. And for this one, I rated it a 3 out of 5. I still rated the last 2 books a 3 out of 5 stars, but they just weren't... I don't like Peter Kay, okay? I liked him in the first one, and in the second one, I just didn't like him as much. And I like John Ambrose McLaren way better, so... Number 8 is actually Always and Forever Laura Jean, and the only thing that I really liked about the whole thing was the wedding for her dad. Number 7 is The Wicked Deep by Shae Earnshaw, and this one I think I rated either a 3 or a 2 out of 5 stars. I just didn't enjoy it. I thought that it was in Halloween time, and it was like Hocus Pocus type, and I really like Hocus Pocus. And when I read this, I thought it was going to be similar, and it had the amazing lore. If they just had a whole thing just on the Swan sisters, I would have read that. But I just didn't like Penny. I just didn't like it. It just wasn't for me. Number 6, this is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. And this was my first time reading a John Green book. I had heard some things about Turtles All the Way Down, so I thought, I don't know, maybe I might like it. I didn't. I skim read from like page 30 to the end, and it was not my favorite. So, I mean, it only took me like a day to really finish it, but it just wasn't my thing. It was my jam. Number 5 is Whip It by Shauna Cross, and it was so disappointing. I thought we were getting a badass bitch doing roller derby, kicking ass and taking names. Nope. We got a stereotypical indie rock chick who thought that she was all that in a goddamn bag of chips, but when really she was this immature little girl, got burned like that, like you didn't see that coming, and I just didn't like it. I thought we were gonna get some cool roller derby chicks. If Shauna Cross had taken some of those characters and fleshed them out a little bit, I think it would have been a whole lot better. Like, all we got were names, and we got a little bit of development with Malice, and that was it. Just like, I can't do roller derby, and I hate pageants, and I hate my mom. And it was just like, get over yourself. Can you just skip over the angsty girl part? Number 4, All the Things That Could Go Wrong by Steve Foster. I hated the OCD rep. I hated the whole family. I just hated how like ableist they were, even though their son has OCD, and I just feel like they weren't willing to help him through things. Like, it was just more of like a burden in their family, and I just didn't like that. Number 3, This Is Where It Ends by Marike Nijkamp. I feel like we didn't get anything from the shooter. I feel like we didn't get what we needed from that book. I wasn't expecting anything because I had heard okay reviews about it, and it was in Target for like a year, so I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll like it, maybe I won't. And so thank God for the library, right? Number 2, this one is a heaping pile of... That would be The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. I absolutely hated this book. It was more so because the sister is an asshole. The girl is pretty much oblivious to what's going on. There's like some kind of like nerd phobia, how she's like, he's not fuckable because he likes to keep his shoes white and he likes Lord of the Rings. It's like, excuse me? In the Midwest, there were a bunch of kids that had white sneakers and they cleaned their white sneakers all the time. Just because he's a nerd doesn't mean that he's automatically not attractive. I just hated it. And the last book, which was a steaming pile and should be burned everywhere. A Million Miles Away by Lara Avery. And Lara Avery, if you ever see this review, like if at all, girl, what were you doing? Like, I could never say this to your face because, you know, you'd probably sue me for defamation or slander or whatever. But honestly, like, okay, I know you said you talked to your brother, but honestly, you shouldn't have just based all of your information off your brother. As a wife of a Marine, I've heard so many things, and I hated the whole thing. Hated it from top to bottom because I wanted to do a review on it because I thought, I don't know, maybe there might be some redeeming qualities, but there wasn't. There were no redeeming qualities. It was a big pile of poop. I didn't like it. So yeah, guys, that was my top 10 list of books that I did not like. If you like this video, like it. If you want to have something to say about it, comment down below. What were some of your books of 2009 or 2018 that you just hated or were like a big pile of crap? Tell me. I want to know. Please subscribe. I hope that you guys didn't have a big steaming pile of crap for, like, hopefully you guys were like, oh man, I was just disappointed by this one book. That's great, because at least it was just one book. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I hope you guys are having a great day. I already said that 3 times, so bye!